Hey, let's move on to our picks, okay?
Okay.
JB's picks, these odds are courtesy of Hard Rock Bets. Ashton, please tell me, why is Hard Rock Bets only at Bet in Florida? Like, it's so crazy to me.
Do you want the actual answer, or do you want the
I know the real answer.
Do you want the answer?
I know the real answer, but like, why is it so crazy?
It stinks because I like Prize Picks. I used Prize Picks for a long time, and then now I just can't. I have money sitting in Prize Picks I can only use when I go back home out of Florida. So it kind of stinks. But it is cool that we have an actual sports book down here. You know, in Georgia, we don't have a sports book. So it's nice that we have one. Obviously, the Hard Rock Seminole clan kind of runs the casinos down here. So they got whatever. You're a big Braves fan over here. They got... Sorry, how am I supposed to follow? I'm not supposed to follow. Anyways, you get it. Everyone gets it. Do your own research. I'm not answering that question, okay? Jeez Louise. Do your own research. It's pretty simple on why we can only bet on Hard Rock.
Don't be so mean to our audience, dude.
It's lame though, because I wouldn't be able to use Prize Picks.
If you guys want information, I'll put a link to some article in the bio because he's like, go find it yourself. I'll help you a little bit, okay? But so you can't bet on anything else, so we have to use this. But
yes,
I got 2 picks today. Okay. I want you, when I give you these 2 picks, I want you to pick which one you think is better. Okay. So I'm going with minus 140 over 5.5 wins for the Colorado Buffaloes. I think the first 4 games, first 5 games, they don't even play a ranked opponent. So I think they can easily get 5 wins, but that UCF game is going to be the tough 5th win. Because after that, they have a gauntlet of a schedule. They play 5 ranked teams in their last 7 games after UCF. That is going to be tough. Like the beginning of the season, they better get their wins because I think they're going to have a hard time getting that 6th win. I think they can. They play Nebraska and Cincinnati in there in the middle of those 5 games with the ranked teams, but I'm going to go over 5.5 for the Buffaloes.
I like over 5.5 because I like 6. I don't like 7. I like 6. So thank God it's 5.5, not 6. Because that's the thing about Hard Rock is they're like right on it with these lines. Every line they have is like, well, that's what I think. I'm not betting on that because it's exactly what I think. And I think we're going to find out a lot about Colorado week 1. That North Dakota State game is not an easy game.
They're good.
It should not be considered an easy game. They really are. That is going to be if it's close and Colorado wins, I think you should start getting a little worried. Colorado, if they want to be different this year, they should win that game by 14. But that's a tough game. That is no easy. That'll show like, okay, hey, this Colorado team, they might not be a championship contender, but this is a legit good team.
There's like the 43 transfers they got, like change your mind on them a little bit?
No. I think Colorado's about a 6 or 7 win team. But that's no disrespect. That's just their schedule's hard and they still have a lot of holes. They're still trying to build this roster up, and it sucks because about to lose a lot of talent this year. But I think they're going to be after this year. But I think they're still going to be they're building the program back up. They're rebuilding the right way.
No, they are. I mean,
this is a good rebuild.
It's a good rebuild.
But I think 6 wins should be what they're shooting for. Maybe 7. I know some people out there are going to be all on some 9 or 10 wins, but I don't.
So if they have,
I think 12 is better than people think. That's all I'm saying.
So if they have like 7 wins, 6 wins. That doesn't put Dion on the hot seat.
No, there's no way they put Dion on the hot seat. Dion's the best thing that's happened to Colorado since 1990.
Yeah,
they won a championship that year. Or they shared a championship with Georgia Tech that year. It's funny, weird little thing. I don't know why college football was like that back then. But they did share a college championship.
Well, was it because there was no BCS?
I mean, there was no national championship.
Yeah, so you couldn't really have like one.
So you would. Well, that's a flawed system, okay? That's why they changed it.
It's better now. It's better with the
It is better now.
It is.
But anyways, yeah, Dion's the best thing that happened to them. They'd have to go like 2-10, 0-12 to not, and they won't. So, I mean, he's fine. He's got his job next year. He's rebuilding. He's bringing in 4 and 5 stars. What else do you want if you're Colorado, you know?
And he's still got the foundation with Hunter and George.
And those guys all leave if Dion's gone.
That's true.
No, they won't fire Dion, at least not for a couple more years, unless it goes, I came on here and said the same thing about Bill Belichick last year, so who knows? But it would have to be very bad. Let's say it that way.
Like they would have to like almost repeat what they did last year, like winning 4 games.
Even
I feel like.
then, I feel like it's still worth it to keep Deion just for the recruits. Like, I mean,
he's.
I'd be in better coordinators at that point. If I'm the athletic director, I'd be like, okay, Deion, you're still there. You're still the figurehead, if anything less. And we're going to bring in these other guys who actually can coach football a little bit better. If that were to, I'm not saying Deion can't do that. I'm just saying if that were to happen, that would be their move, not firing Deion, because then Colorado goes back to irrelevancy if they lose Deion.
Yeah, you're not wrong about that. Preaching right there. One more pick, and then Ashton's going to have a pick. I actually let him have a pick, surprisingly, guys. I'm just kidding. But my next pick is a national championship pick.
Okay.
I'm going plus 400 for Ohio State. They got Caleb Downs at safety. That was a huge pickup.
Giant pickup.
And then they also got Quinshawn Judkins.
He's very good.
From Ole Miss.
Very good at Ole Miss.
He is really fast, and he's super elusive. I like that run game. Will Howard, I don't really know if I'm sold on him yet, but I think he's definitely better than Kyle McCord. But, I mean, if we look at their stats, I'll throw up a graphic between Will Howard and Kyle McCord's stats. It's very similar. Kyle McCord threw for a little over 3,000, but the touchdowns are pretty much the same, and the interceptions are pretty much the same. So I don't know. I feel like it's a little upgrade, but I don't know if it's that. That's the only question mark I have with Ohio State. They're going to be a really good defensive team for sure. Like I saw some guy say something like they won't allow like a touchdown in the first 4 games.
It was on McAfee. It was on McAfee. Yeah.
Yeah, that's nuts.
His face said that. COVID cowboy, whatever.
Yeah, he said that.
I heard him say that.
Hank.
And it's because their schedule is, those first 5. I think the hardest team they play is like Iowa. I do not quote me on that.
No, you're right.
That's what he said.
You're right. No, they play.
And Iowa is not known for scoring touchdowns on offense, at least. Let's say it that way.
Okay, so their first ranked team that they play is Iowa, and then they play at Oregon, at Penn State, and then versus Michigan.
I think that Oregon-Ohio State game might be like, there's some good SEC games, but that's that's the popcorn game. You know what I'm saying? That's rent out a movie theater to go see a game. That's a game right there, and I'm very excited for that. I was shocked when Chip Kelly he quit on UCLA head coach to be Ohio State's offense. I've never seen that before. I was like, wow. And he said it was because he didn't want to deal with the recruiting and all that. And I get it, man. I get it. Because in NCAA, I do the same thing. No, I like the recruiting. I enjoy the recruiting, but
it was crazy. I had Oregon here first.
I like that.
And I think Dylan Gabriel will win the Heisman Trophy. I think him in that style offense, he's perfect. But let's get into your picks before we kind of go on a ramble here.
Can I say one thing real quick? I think Jalen Daniels of Kansas is going to win the Heisman Trophy this year. Okay. So what's next?
I'll go Dylan Gabriel. I'll go Dylan Gabriel.
I think he has everything in front of him to win the Heisman. He's very talented.
You don't think Carson Beck can?
He can, but I don't think he will because Georgia loves running the ball. Georgia is going to run the ball. They're not going to stop. They're not going to be as many close games as Kansas will. Jalen Daniels, I think, is one of the most talented quarterbacks in college football, and his offensive system is very good. I think he's going to be, even though his name is very similar, he's going to be the Jaden Daniels from last year. He's going to have a huge, if he can stay healthy. He's had injury problems, but if he stays healthy, I think he's. Sorry to go off on a tangent. I thought about it when you said it, and I'm like, Heisman Trophy. Like, I got a good take for this.
No, that's fine. I got my Heisman pick out there too, so it's perfect. Your picks. What pick? I know you said you got one.
Let me pull it up because I just want to make sure I get this exactly right. So we're going back to week 0 over to Ireland as Florida State is an 11.5-point favorite. And as I've already mentioned, we have no idea what's going to happen in that game. I think if this game was played in a neutral site that wasn't that just changed everything, the game being in Dublin, because these are college kids, not used to that kind of travel. A lot can change here. 11.5 is a lot. And I think Georgia Tech is a better team than 11. So that's my point. I'm taking Georgia Tech minus a plus 11.5 to cover that spread. They might win, they might not. But I think them keeping it close with Florida State is very realistic. I think it's actually more likely than to keep it close than a blow. I think that was the biggest moneymaker I saw on the Hard Rock Bets app. I was like, oh yeah, I like that number a lot.
I hate that you picked against my team, but I mean plus 11.5 is not a terrible line to pick. Our pass rushers, DJ Lundy and Shaheem Brown, better get to the quarterback.
Patrick Payton too.
We better get to the quarterback. That'll make our life a lot easier, and I think we could push the spread a little bit more if we do that.
Talk to me, baby. talk to me nice. I'm from another world, baby, yeah. Broadway paradise. They think I'm way too cold, cause I put my heart up on ice.